I am Nick Shell, a certified Enneagram coach, and I'm going to be real with you. I have trust issues with authority figures. So let's dig into that. Let's dive deep and understand why. And maybe you're like me and you do too. You have trust with authority figures. It may be related to your Enneagram. So let's unpack that. Now, I have to say, what helped me officially realize this about myself was reading this book, which is kind of hard to see based on the color of the book, but just know that it's The Honest Enneagram by Sarah Jane Case. If you'd like to purchase this, you can. There's a link right there. It takes you to Amazon. If you want to become certified in Enneagram, you can do that. There's a link for it. And then simply, if you just don't even really know for sure what your Enneagram type is, there's also a free test there. It takes about 10 minutes. You can find out. Now, let's get to it. I'm actually turning to the exact page in this book that describes what it's like to be me. So for the record, here's my Enneagram type. I am an Enneagram 6, wing 7, sexual subtype, which the sexual subtype, in my observation and understanding, pretty much is the counter type. That counter type that goes against. And that's exactly what it's like to be me. It's why it was so hard for me to realize that I'm a 6. I acted like an 8 with a 7 wing. I acted like a 7 with an 8 wing. The tests all showed up as one or the other. Never once did I take an Enneagram test and it said that I'm a 6. Not once. That's how strong my subconscious is about confronting my fears, which is exactly what the counterphobic 6 is. That's me. So again, I am a counterphobic 6. It's a 6 wing 7 and sexual subtype. So here's the description of the sexual subtype. I want to read this to you. Turns against fear and leans into strength. When feeling fear, leans into it and runs toward it. Bold and fierce. Often focused on being physically strong. Takes on an intimidating stance. Has a need to be contrarian and focuses on the opposite of the group. Often likes to disrupt and stir up trouble. Can look like an 8. Now, based on this 2 minutes and you watching me in this video, like, you don't seem that intimidating. Well, you're seeing me in one setting, but watch how I act at work sometimes. Watch how I act when there's conflict with my kids and I'm trying to sort it out. You would see that more so in a more stressful environment. You'll see that come out. That's the first place I go to. So I'm the kind of person where I left a voicemail and a text with someone today at work where I needed them to basically sign this document. And they've been ghosting me. So I sent them a breakup voicemail and text. I said, look, I get it. I'm used to being rejected. It's all right. It sounds like you've moved on and you're not interested in this. So I'm going to go ahead and let you off the hook, and I'll move on and I'm going to hire someone else for this position. 10 minutes later, they reached out to me and they did the thing I needed them to do. And see what I did, even though it may have seemed a little bit of a humble stance while I say I'm used to being rejected, this self-deprecated humor, which is part of who I am as a 6, but also you can't break up with me, I'm breaking up with you. So that's a little bit, just a hint of what that is like. But in other Enneagram books, and anytime you look up an Enneagram 6, you're going to see this description of how a 6 is either very afraid of authority or fearful and respectful of authority, or they distrust it and they go against it. Now for me, I have no criminal record. I've never broken the law, but I don't trust authority figures. So this is me being real, okay? So for one, I'm not a political person. I have zero faith in politics. I have zero faith in political figures. I'm not going to choose one side or the other because to me, they're all politicians. So I distrust political leaders. Now when it comes to, let's say the police and the military, I 100% appreciate what they're doing, but ultimately I perceive that it's a system. Whether it's the police that are end up putting people in jail for minor drug possession and they happen to be a minority, and that keeps minorities in prisons, like that's a problem that bothers me. Whether it's the military, where we are attacking and invading other countries because we perceive that they are an enemy, when maybe it's that they have a view that's different than ours, but they're not necessarily attacking us, but we go all into these wars. So, and I could even say I have empathy with anyone who has trust issues with church leaders as well. I can understand why that would happen. There's been a history of reasons why It's hard to trust people in authority, no matter where they are. It's very difficult for me. And it's something I have to sort out. Even my relationship with God, sometimes I have to think, how can you believe in a deity and have faith if you can't put trust in their authority? It's a personal struggle that I deal with, actually, on this channel. I'm working on a song about that, me trying to sort that out and understand that. So for me, when I'm driving my Jeep down the road, this is me driving, I'm constantly looking for policemen who are hiding in the bushes, getting ready to try to give someone a speeding ticket. Now, fortunately, I have a manual transmission on my Jeep, so you're pretty much kind of locked into a certain speed range. But I want to make sure that they cannot get me for speeding even. And I haven't got a speeding ticket in like 14 years. And people will make fun of me for driving too slow. Well, that's how much I distrust policemen that are hiding in the bushes ready to catch someone and trick someone. It's a distress thing I have. For better or worse, that's how I'm wired. I am the counterphobic 6, and I have trust issues with authority. I'm not saying that I don't respect them. I'm not saying I purposely go against the rules. But ultimately, my first instinct is not to trust someone in authority. Can you relate? Can you have empathy to understand where I'm coming from? Your comments belong right here.